Yo, 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 what up, what up? This is Dex.
Queen Esther here, crowned it.
And this is another episode of Complicated Discord. Yo, yo, welcome back, welcome back. Thank you for joining us today. Today we got a very special guest. We joined by my homeboy Will, aka Jack of all trades, aka Chef Wallow.
Hello, nice to have you.
What up?
This is somebody I knew in my military life, but I reconnected with him once I started school, once I got out. Little did I know that this man not only can cook very well, he also works in the VA clinic, or used to. I don't know if he's still doing or not.
Yeah, I used to.
Yep. And then he also does auto body and mechanic repair on sports cars. This man knows a little bit of everything. On top of being a parent, bro, you get all the applause.
So, yeah, I grew up in Miami, same old story. Grew up poor, had a shitty household growing up, pretty much in the hood, in the streets the whole time. Had enough of it, went to the Army, did the Army for about 10 years, 2 tours, got out, wanted to do something else with my life, give back to people. Was a mechanic for about 10 years, got out of that. Figured out I was too smart to work with my hands anymore. Went to school, got into radiology, finished that. Now I'm on the way to starting my own business, open up my own practice.
Okay, what is it? What are you going to specialize in? Are you going to be doing radiology specifically, or?
So we're gonna do family medicine. My partner, he's a physician, so we're gonna do a family medicine clinic with imaging, lab, and pharmacy all in one. So it's a one-stop shop. You come in there. If you need images, you get them done. If you need labs, you get them done, and then you leave with your medication. You don't got to go nowhere else.
And you heard it first, Orlando. You need something, go to my homeboy. Go check him out when he gets squared away.
And thank you.
We're in Sanford. We're open at the beginning of the year.
There you go. 2021, new business, new money. So speaking about money, remember a little while ago, they sent, I would say everyone, but not everyone got it, stimulus checks? Because I know a fair amount of people that never got theirs for whatever reason. But when they sent out stimulus, they sent out, I want to say, roughly about $1 million worth of stimulus checks to people that were incarcerated. And then the IRS turned around and said, oh, wait, no, you're not supposed to have that, and try to pull it back. Well, there was a class action lawsuit, and the judge just ruled that that there was no legal basis for the IRS to sit down and say, hey, we're going to take this money back. When you think about it, that's a real shitty move to make. Now,
What, taking it back?
Yeah, taking it back.
Yeah, no, that definitely is.
Because you know what? I never thought about it. People that are incarcerated still got stuff to do. They still got to pay to put money on their phone, pay to put money on their computer, still buy stuff out of the commissary. You know what I'm saying? And if the people that you're depending on the outside can't work and afford to put money on your books, are you supposed to starve just because you have no way of earning?
That's not how it should be. That's not how it should be. That's what they want to do. But haven't they reversed it? Like they're saying that's
Well, no, I think they tried to reverse it, but the judge was saying, nah, it's not going to happen.
That's what I'm saying that it's unconstitutional to pull it back.
Saying that there's no legal basis for pulling it back.
Exactly. Okay, because that's what I'm saying. It's very unconstitutional to do that. Like there's still things. When
they first wrote the laws that kind of defined how the stimulus packages will work, being incarcerated was not a disqualifying factor. So to now add that in because you guys felt you made a mistake just doesn't work.
And in addition, they're still being exposed to the COVID. So yes, there's still humans too who have a living to have during a pandemic, whether or not they're incarcerated or not.
Well, I mean, my thing is like, yeah, they are still living in a pandemic. But I mean, on the flip side, also, they're not being affected by the pandemic financially.
Well, yeah, you can say that, but remember, at the end of the day, if I'm expecting you to put money on my books and you're unemployed because of the pandemic, I still have no way to put money on my phones or on my computer for whatever I need to do.
Yeah, But I mean, you still. I mean, the way they say it is like there's only two places you're guaranteed to eat and sleep, right? It's in the military or in prison. You still get 3 hots in a cot. I mean, granted, it's not great. You know what I mean? But you still guaranteed that. So you're not starving. Now, people out here who lost their jobs are starving. Yeah. They're starving. They lost their jobs. They can't. I mean, there's certain people who don't qualify for welfare. They don't qualify for food stamps just because of the IRS saying that you made too much money that year. So
that is true. That is very.
But in prison, like, you still guaranteed to eat.
No matter what.
Yeah. So what do you think? You think that money would be better spent on those outside?
I don't know about better spent, because there's a lot of people who use it in a old fashion out here too. Like the unemployment, the benefits that came because of the pandemic.
They was buying frivolous shit, man. People was getting their stimulus checks and going and buying new TVs.
New TVs, Jordans, crab legs, etc. Like not paying the rent, not paying like, you know what I mean? So like that's not popping. Anyway.
I mean, first of all, the IRS is fucked up anyway. The IRS has always been full of shit.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But I mean, realistically though, think about it. How many people have gotten audited throughout the years? They take 20% of our check no matter what. So really, do you see a big issue with them taking money back? No, they do that shit year round.
I mean, you know what I mean? And they even tax Social Security, which has already been taxed and taken out of someone's check. So, like, that's the government for you. And even in New York, they tax the EBT card, like, which makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, some people would see it as cruel and unusual to give someone a little bit of hope, a little bit of money to turn around and say, hey, we're going to take that back.
It's not, it's like...
You're right. But if you ever done, like, TSP or 401k, if you ever done anything like that where you invest money into something and then now you want to pull it out because you have an emergency or whatever the case may be, they tell you when you pull that out, you're going to take out 20% for taxes, but make sure you take out an extra 10% so that at the end of the year, they don't tax you that. So now you got 30% of your hard-earned money that you've been putting in, funneling in, and you giving 30%. Bro, 30% is not a little bit of change.
That's
think about it. If you got $1 million, what's 30% of $1 million?
Don't be asking me no math, bro. I'm terrible at math.
That's $300,000, bro. That can go. Two nice-ass houses.
Where?
You feel me? That shit's, it's a scam, bro. All of it.
Man, look, at the end of the day, I just kind of feel like, I do understand some people's point of view that, they're incarcerated. They don't need the money. So you could give that to people that do need it. But at the end of the day, I still kind of feel like if they're depending on that money to make phone calls or to be able to get on the computer and send emails, because sometimes you have kids, you gotta hit up your kids and your family, let them know you all right. Sometimes that little bit is needed.
No, I think we're all in agreement here that yes, it would be cruel and unusual to take money back that you're permitting during a pandemic for an emergency, just because they're
Sorry, my bad. No. But check this out. Dex, when you was in the Army, right? When you was in the Army, if they gave you overpayment, that next check is going to be looking light. And they don't
they're going to take that shit.
They snatch it back and some. Exactly.
Let me tell you something.
Disability too. Like, we overpaid you. Huh?
Once they overpaid me an entire check. Bro, when I tell you I got a no pay due that next month, they didn't give a damn about how I was buying groceries, paying rent. They just took everything, bro.
It don't matter. But see, I think honestly, to be honest with you, okay, if you're incarcerated, like you got VA benefits, right?
Yeah.
You got disability, right?
You know what?
So if you're incarcerated, that shit goes away.
Does it really?
Yeah, it goes away. If you're incarcerated, if you go to jail, if you go to prison, it goes away. You don't get that money no more. So why should you get a stimulus check? I just think off rip, they shouldn't have sent it out.
And you know what?
Yeah, that's a mistake on their behalf, definitely.
And that's the thing. I get that. If you had never sent it, then I'd be like, all right, cool, this is, but don't give someone $1,200 to come and say, hey, you know what, we gave you that, but sorry.
But that's what the government does.
People still got rights. People still got rights, but you know what? That shit don't surprise me in the slightest.
At all. That's what the government does, period.
Yeah, it's the IRS. We're always getting the big green weenie. It don't matter.
Hey, you know what? Since we're talking about IRS, let's go ahead and touch on this.
Oh, God.
So during the last presidential debate, which, by the way, we're not going to have one this week because, President Trump has COVID-19, or so he says, and he refused to do a virtual debate, which to me is kind of like an excuse as far as I'm concerned.
Confused because there has been news reports that he has multiple negative tests. But then he's COVID positive, but he's bitching because he doesn't want to do a virtual thing. He also said it's because they can cut you off whenever they want. He really said that.
He did. And that's pretty funny.
He said, and they could cut you off whenever they want. That's not a debate. That's not what it is. And I'm just like, wow, this is our president, though. So what's up with the IRS?
Did y'all think that the debate was...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. That debate, I think, was bullshit.
That debate was an atrocity. That
was a waste of
all of
our lives.
It was entertainment. It was reality TV.
Yeah. I feel like that wasn't even... It was just people crying and moaning and bitching. Like, I don't understand.
It sounded like two toddlers fighting over like a toy or something.
Did y'all see the video where somebody put the toddlers' faces?
Yeah, on the Snapchat filters. Oh my God, bro!
I see that.
But the thing was, it was very accurate. I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it looked like. Yep. That's what I thought I saw. But
the IRS and the president.
I was gonna say, damn.
Because I'm curious.
More on the IRS. So. Anyway, during the debate, Biden brought up Trump only paying $750 on taxes. Now, when Trump was asked to, release his taxes, Trump said, I'll release them. You'll see. They're coming. Since that has happened, I know the attorneys have subpoenaed the tax returns from the IRS. And as of maybe yesterday or today, Trump's attorneys filed a motion to quell the subpoena. They don't want that information out there. Now, I don't know about everyone else, but I'm curious to know, why would you want to quell and hide your taxes if everything you've been saying about them are true? Honestly, I feel like that's the biggest flex in the world. Like, I told y'all was doubting me. I told you I want an apology, goddammit. Listen, I'd have been demanding shit.
I think he just decided to strategically block information, as he's been doing over his entire presidency right before an election. There's tons of other things that he needs to do under the belt that nobody needs to see before the election so he could win the election. That's what he's doing. Yeah, but
the taxes though,
But it's going to show further and prove that he ain't pay nothing. Go ahead, Will.
I'm gonna be real. I think the biggest thing is, I don't know, man. I could look past some tax shit. I really want to see some real stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like, why are we bothering over like this shit? Like, don't nobody ever ask me about my taxes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand you're a millionaire, you're a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? People want to see that you're paying taxes. But check this out. You got a good ass accountant. He's not the only person that does that. Everybody does that. Every millionaire does that. Everybody does it.
Oh, it's true though, but you're the president of the United States.
Here's the thing. I feel like it's not so much that he's doing it. It's the problem is, like I said last week, everyone is like, bro, just be upfront about this shit. If you did it, just say you did it. It is what it is.
Check this out. Watergate, Marilyn Monroe, Monica Lewinsky, all this shit. Everybody was upfront about it? No, they never were. They never were. It didn't take until impeachment for them to fucking say, I did it.
Speaking of which, though, you said Watergate and none of them admitted it. That's the thing. You're in law. all you have to do is admit it, and then you would be guilty. But if you never admit it, someone has to prove whatever it is that they want to prove without a reasonable doubt. So that's what he's doing. It's a chess game.
I'm not saying I'd admit it either. You would literally have to walk in and catch me mid-act, me to be like, I did that. You can have me. Listen, that's somebody that looks exactly like me, but I wasn't even there that day.
This is the way I see it. You know that song. What's that song? Did she call me on the counter?
Yep,
it wasn't me. Did she call me on the bedroom? Me. It wasn't me. You do all that shit. They catch you with your pants down. You still say, bro, that's not me.
Listen, the best proof for that, bro, they caught R. Kelly on video peeing on somebody, and he still walked. Hey, like they said, I need to catch R. Kelly looking at the video with 2 forms of ID and somebody identifying as him.
Yeah. Holding a social security card. Yo, look at OJ. I mean, this the American way, bro.
Yeah,
this is the American way. Anybody who opposes this shit is un-American, dog. Like this is what it's been for ages. So why are we concerned about it?
Ourselves.
I think the biggest deal to me, honestly, is that only really works when you're part of the 1%. Because let's be perfectly honest, Will. If me and you are driving down the street and the cops pull us over on somebody just robbed the bank, we can't say it wasn't us.
No. Not only that, but we probably gonna get charges of aiding and abetting. We're probably gonna get charges of drugs. Everything else. That's how it is. We gotta accept the world for what it is.
You gonna be like, but officer, assault on officer. Oops.
Yeah.
That's the world we're living in, man.
That's what it is. My thing is, man, like with the whole presidency shit, I know there's people who bicker and go, back and forth about it. My thing is, bro, if this shit don't affect my life, I'm not stressing over it. I'm not bitching over it.
I mean, it does affect your life to a certain extent, I would get. Actually, for a pretty good extent. Well, see, now that we're not in the military, it doesn't affect our life as deeply as it did back then.
Yes. And one of the things I could tell you is, and I've said this shit multiple times, that Dick Cheney was the most gangster motherfucker who ever lived. That dude was the most gangster motherfucker. Fuck Al Capone. Bro, he was the most gangster dude ever lived.
Why do you say that?
Bro, Halliburton, we went to war. All my boys died for Halliburton.
Bro, Pete is adamant about how much he hates Halliburton too.
Bro, look, man. This dude took the entire country to war to make $40 billion. You understand what I'm saying? George Bush didn't have the fucking slightest. That dude landed in Ohio, thought he was in Idaho.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? Dick Cheney ran this motherfucker.
Bro, look, Dick Cheney saw an opportunity and he took it. And since we're talking about opportunity, we're going to talk about another opportunity that was not missed by Joe Biden and his camp.
Yeah.
Did you see the VP debate?
Nah, but I seen the fly, though.
You seen the fly, exactly. You seen the fly. Well, Joe Biden and his team seen the fly, too, and immediately jumped into action. They made a commercial, they made a meme, and they made a fly swatter, which sold 35,000 swatters, and they use the money to further their campaign. And personally, I think it's genius. It is absolute genius. They saw an opportunity and they capitalized, and I don't see them as wrong for it.
Definitely. I don't either.
I feel like they're just teaching kids, the new generation, what to do. Take hold of an opportunity that you see.
And you know what? I'm going to tell you this, and I know I'm going to get so much backlash for this shit, but you know Tekashi 6ix9ine?
Oh, God.
Look, man.
Yeah, we both like, come on, bro.
Look. I'm going to tell you, that dude is a marketing genius, bro.
Listen.
Yeah.
I will agree with you.
Bitch.
I will agree with you. Tekashi 6ix9ine is a mark. He should put out a master class on how to gain a social media attention because he's good at it.
That dude capitalized on everything, bro. He came out, as soon as he came out, people knew he was gonna drop some shit, and people were just gonna watch it. Bro, look, all the biggest rappers that talk shit about him, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, everybody that talks shit, oh, he ain't welcome, blah, 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 in the rap game and the new none of that shit. right? But people tuned in just to see because they were curious. I bet y'all watched the Instagram post.
Nope.
No, I think so, but I know what you mean. Like, it's still a guy that pulls your curiosity.
Let me ask you a quick question. Are you a 6ix9ine fan?
No, I'm not. I don't really listen to his music. I'm not. You know what? For me, that dude is intriguing. I watch his stuff because I just want to see what he comes up with. The fact that this dude superimposed a computerized rat on his face in one of his songs, as soon as he came out, bro, that shit was G. I'm like, yo, this dude, he just made $1 million right there just by doing that.
Listen,
and taking what people already were calling him.
Exactly.
Listen, at the end of the day, I knew 6ix9ine wasn't for me. He didn't create his music for people. For me, I'm an older generation. You know what I'm saying? It was never for me, and I get that.
I claim it.
I get that, and I'm not gonna sit down and screw you, Esther. I'm not gonna sit down and hate on him for that. My biggest issue, and I'll tell anyone, I'm not mad at 6ix9ine for doing what. Listen, if you want to snitch, by all means, bro, do you? That's you gotta live with that. You know what I'm saying? That's your burden to bear. That don't got nothing to do with me.
But it comes back though.
My thing is, the persona he portrays is, yo, I'm a thug, I'm a gangster, I'm this, I'm that. And then when it came down to the wire, he was willing to throw people under the bus to save his own ass.
Well, I feel he felt a certain level of power in unison because he was in the gang life weight for that period. So he really felt like he was part of that until the action had to come.
But here's my thing. Had this dude said, bro, I snitched because they were selling the guns that didn't have shit to do with me, maybe I wouldn't have agreed with it, but I could have okay, I guess I kind of get that. The dude was like, well, they slept with my baby mama and they did this to me. Okay, I got that. But you're a thug, as you claim to be. You're a thug. You're a gangster, bro. If you're a gangster, then handle that shit like a gangster.
Right.
Growing up in the hood, when gangster shit happened to me, it was either I handled it or I backed down. That was the two options we had.
Right. And you can't be doing all this gangster shit.
But a lot of people say a lot of things and it's not truthful. So like he could say I'm a thug all day. There's a lot of people who say that they're thugs, but it came point when it was time for the action, he wasn't able to do that. So like he never said, like he never acted like a thug to be like, oh, I'm really a thug. He just rapped about it. And
no, he did. He was running up on rappers. But
because he had someone to back him.
In fairness, he was running up on the right rappers. He didn't run up on the Game, even though him and Game had beef, because we knew how that was going to end.
How did we get here? Or weren't we talking about that?
He ain't stupid. He picked and chose his battles, and it worked out for him. Now it is not working out for him. Now he's struggling in life.
This is scary that we started talking about the IRS and Trump, and we ended up 6ix9ine.
Because I was just trying to make a point, man. That
I forgot how we.
Because they capitalized. Look, that damn fly. Everybody was talking about. Look, I'm gonna tell you how fucked up this is. Check this out.
If he come back with a Flyswatter, I'm gonna lose it.
Hey, this shit got 10,000 votes. Let a fly fuck with me.
I need one of those.
I said, look, you press a button, you send that fly to infinity.
Hey, you know what I'm seeing there, bro? To be honest with you, I'm seeing a downrange play toy, because downrange, when we was bored, we'd be like, hey, let's see if we could. Hey, can't pay attention. Let's hit him on the elbow with it.
The hell yeah. Bro.
Don't judge us, Esther. Gentlemen.
Don't judge us. You're here to protect your country. You never said you have to be smart.
Thank you guys for your service. I said that. That I did say.
I want to take this shit out in public and just start smacking people.
That military mind right there. That's what we do ignorant shit like that to each other.
Take that on the New York City train. I need one of those. Seriously. People do not know how to keep their own motherfucking space.
You about to have all the fights, not just one or two.
All the fucking charges too, but they need to clear my space. Dude.
Yeah.
Speaking of portraying something that you're not, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but the Asian community have been kind of, I don't want to say in an uproar, but they've been voicing their opinion on certain things. The cast of Crazy Rich Asians have been have been kind of putting their voice out there with the whitewashing of America. They feel like they're
Hollywood as well.
Yeah, they feel like they're sick of the American movie scene putting out movies, and instead of giving the roles to actors that portray a specific part, they're giving them to white actors, i.e., Ghost in the Shell. For those who don't know, Ghost in the Shell was I think it was a manga, and then it became an anime. Yeah, then it became an anime about a police officer that died, and they recreated her kind of as like an android or a cyborg or something like that.
Yeah,
but she was Japanese.
Yeah.
The same thing with Death Note on Netflix. That the kid was Japanese, and they're making all these movies and all these shows, but they're remaking it with white actors. And people are getting mad. Even the old movie Short Circuit. I remember that one with Johnny Five. Well, it turns out the Indian actor was not Indian. He was a white guy in brown face.
That's the.
You mean he was like painted?
A white guy?
Yes, he was a white guy painted brown.
You mean like Trump? He's painted orange, but yeah, keep.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm sorry, but on the lawn, he was extra orange with the tinge of brown, so he could look a little bit healthier after he got out the hospital. Somebody
I'm done with you. I'm done.
They do that airbrush.
Yeah, that airbrush it, but no funny. No, I know exactly what you're speaking about. In terms of Hollywood, it is whitewashed. I feel like that.
I feel like Disney does that shit a lot.
Yeah,
all
like
the time. In fact, the recent Aladdin movie that came out, they made a huge deal about that because originally they weren't going to have Middle Eastern actors. And people were like, no, we're not going to stop doing that. So they had to hire Middle Eastern actors and actresses to play the cast.
Even the Nina Simone movie that was played by Zoe Saldana, and she came out and she apologized. She was like, there were plenty of African American.
She's Dominican.
Exactly. But I mean, that's still a level of African. I get that.
Yeah, my girl's Dominican, and she, right? I mean, she dog as hell.
Dog as hell. Shit.
No, dead ass. But like Nina Simone was definitely clearly a black woman and darker, but there are actresses that could play that role. And then they went for, the lighter your skin in Hollywood, the better. I guess they could do more with it, but people need to feel represented.
I mean, one of the biggest things I think the problem is that we got so many high paid actors. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We got, let's see, The Mask, for example, right? The Mask, when that came out with Jim Carrey, it was 1994, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And
not a fester.
You know how much he got paid for painting that green face on?
A lot.
$40 million for that. Yeah. But check this out. $40 million in 1994 to do one movie? I mean, that's insane, man.
Right. People do need representation, and we're getting sick of it. I mean, look at it this way. We finally got representation on the Marvel superhero front. We got Black Panther. And people were complaining, oh, why you got to have a movie with all black people and what's up with the black cast? When, if you keep in mind, there were people of the Caucasian persuasion in that movie.
Why you got to say it like that? That was extra.
Hey, listen, shut up. Anyway, I mean, but yeah, no, and the thing is, they're all the Asian community. They're also saying that the director Ron Howard, who has directed was it the Star Wars movies?
Nah, he did.
What was it?
He did Titanic, I think.
He's done a ton of stuff. I think he has done a couple of Star Wars movies, honestly.
Ron, that was George Lucas, man.
No, George Lucas was like the writer and creator, wasn't he? Yeah,
George Lucas and Steven Spielberg.
You're right. Well, Ron Howard has made a lot of really good stuff. Like we know him from a lot of stuff. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but he's done a lot. But he's supposed to be making the biopic of a Japanese, I'm not sure if he's Japanese, but an Asian pianist named Lang Lang. And they're concerned. They're saying, how could you make a movie about a Japanese, artist when you don't understand the intricacies of Japanese culture? You don't know what it's like, so you can't necessarily represent this person in the light that we feel would be the most honorable. And he's not wrong.
I don't know, man. I think that's bullshit. Everybody, I mean, there's so much Google. You can Google anything. I mean, you could do research, bro. Like, I'm not Korean, right? But I've been in Korea. I lived there for a year, so I know how Korea works. I know how the culture is. I mean, at least I know enough that I could write a paper on it.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing. I kind of feel like their complaint is not so much that. The complaint is you have, like you said, you have all of these $1 million A-list actors that are making $40 million per movie, right? Yeah. And they're getting paid $40 million to play like you'll have like, I don't know, Tom Hardy play Muhammad Ali. And it's kind of like, why would you do that? There are plenty of black actors that you can give this money to that will portray that character. That at the very, you don't have to blackface them. You don't have to make, that's who they are. Why would you not do that instead of spending all this extra money to pay a white character to act Asian? At this point, what you're doing is you're not opening the door for anyone of any other races. The only people that profit are the white community. And I think that's their biggest argument. Like, bro, let us in. You want us, you want to put out a movie portraying us. Well, let us portray us.
You know what's crazy, bro? Like, some of my favorite movies are old kung fu movies.
What?
Like Fist of Shaolin, like 36 Chambers.
Like the movies where they're talking and it's like,
yes, shit that's dumb.
Dishonored my master.
Yes, where like the blood splatters and it's pink and just super fake.
Hold on, real quick interjection. You know what? It's crazy you say that. I feel like that's something that our generation has gotten into, bro, because I love those old time kung fu movies.
Yes. Bro, me and my girl watch that shit, and I tell her, I'm like, yo, you gotta watch this. Like the 36 Chambers of Shaolin, you gotta watch it. This shit is awesome. And you know, I'm like, it's so like the movie is terrible, right? All the graphics are terrible, but they have to make it believable. It's like the 1970s. There's no CGI. They got to really do all these flips and kicks and shit. You know what I mean? They use trick cinematography. And these are all like no-name actors. Nobody knows who these people are.
Because it's more authentic. That's why you actually enjoy it. But that's the thing. Within Hollywood, they want to keep it like those few elite. And they don't mind putting money in that direction. But when it comes to paying the black actors that you're talking about, Dex, then the black actors are going to have to fight to get paid equally to those same A-list actors and actresses. So at this point, people are fighting just so that they could represent themselves efficiently without having blackface, without having to airbrush nothing. You feel me?
That's straight bullshit. Like when I was growing up, I grew up in Miami. To me, like race, that shit wasn't even a thing. I didn't even, like all the stuff I saw like on TV, I was like, that's not even a thing. Look at me, man. Look, I look fucking Hispanic. I got cornrows in. You know what I mean? But that wasn't even a thing to me when I was growing up. I didn't even know that shit really existed. I thought it was just like things they make on TV until I experienced racism when I first got in the Army. Somebody called me a wetback, and I was like, what the fuck is a wetback? I was like laughing. I'm like, what the hell is that? And they're like, oh, you know, you pick tomatoes. I'm like, dog, I've never seen a farm in my life. Like, I live in Miami, you know what I mean? In the city. You know what I'm saying? Like that, it's crazy to me. That shit didn't make no sense. I think, honestly, that our country is the only country that deals with this bullshit. There's nowhere else in the world where people deal with racism like
no. There's other countries.
Trust me, there's other countries.
Yeah.
It's just that with us, it's a lot more noticeable now. I mean, for example, look at the show Friends. Mm-hmm. Friends has been in syndication. They're showing it everywhere. They're bringing that to movie theaters. It's on. It's everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I want to say like
that show was terrible.
Huh?
That show was fucking terrible.
I concur with that. Everybody else says opposite. I agree with you, Will. Thank you.
That shit is terrible. Now, The Office, that shit is hilarious. But Friends is terrible.
I can't get into The Office, bro. I don't know why. But anyway, look, regardless, the people, like a year ago, somebody had asked, like, hey, how come we don't do it? How come y'all never did a black version of Friends? And the answer was, we did. It was called Living Singles.
Thank you, because I love that show. Sorry.
And the thing was, Living Singles, I don't know if you ever seen it. It was with, I want to say 5 or 6 black friends that lived in New York.
Yeah, in Brooklyn, in a brownstone.
Yeah. It was Kyle, Regina, Regine, Khadijah, Obi, and hang on.
That was
Obi's girlfriend.
Sinclair.
No, was it Sinclair?
Sinclair.
Okay, but the point is that was pretty much a black version of Friends. And the thing is, when that came out, mind you, that came out back in a time where drugs in the streets of the hood were a thing. Like, it was rough. But these were black folks that weren't drug dealers. They weren't running. They weren't thugs.
Upstanding citizens. They were business owners.
Maxine was a lawyer. Khadijah owned a magazine that she had to work her way from the bottom to get. And even though they were under the same production company, they didn't get advertised and shown as much as Friends did. You know? Friends got prime time. Like they
also still wouldn't put out the DVD on it, like the whole entire series. You could only get the first season for Living Single.
But peep this, right? If you like, have y'all watched Saturday Night Live?
Yeah,
I have.
Okay. What about In Living Color?
In Living Color.
I'd rather watch In Living Color. I got fucking the DVDs of In Living Color. Because I think In Living Color kills fucking Saturday Night Live.
It does.
That shit can't even compare.
Yeah, the problem is In Living Color couldn't keep up. I mean, it couldn't keep up with with the stuff now. Mind you, when Living Color came out, a lot of the black actors and actresses and the Hispanic actors weren't as big as they are now.
The industry is what happened to In Living Color, and I'm certain
that's the same thing with Saturday Night Live. Also, what about Chappelle's Show?
See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It's an industry thing.
Chappelle's Show could never come out nowadays.
Well,
never.
It actually probably belongs out because there's so much racial tension out there, man.
Right, and
he's making fun of it.
Yes, that's what I loved about it. It was fucking hilarious. Like,
you know, I tell people all the time, and we'll understand this. People are like, hey, you don't get offended. I'm like, it's hard for me to get offended. Why? Because I was in the military. The military is a gigantic racial joke. Because you would walk up to someone and you'd be like, hey, wetback, hey, black, and it'd be like, all right, cool. Because at some point like I said, when you go down range with somebody and you're like, listen, my life is in your hands, you get a whole new level of closeness.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. It's to the point where I could have met Will yesterday. We went down range. I'm like, bro, I would leave my kids with you if something happened. Like, you trust them just that much more. You know when they say things to you, it's just we give each other shit, and that's usually what it is. Now, mind you, there are some races that, like, when they say things, you got to be like, I don't know if I could buy that from you.
I had a few people like that, and then when we went down range, that shit changed their mind. When we came home, they tried my coquito, and they're like, oh, shit. You got something going on. Listen, I don't know what it is.
That's not fair. Now I want to taste your coquito. Like, seriously. Oh. No, for real. Like,
yo, we'll be throwing down. He a chef, man, bro. But anyway, look, listen, believe it or not, I didn't hear my first Jim Crow song until I was in my last deployment. Yeah, my last one, the one after Hawaii, the one when I was in Texas. And one of my students was like, hey, let me play this song for you. Like, I'm not racist. And I was kind of like, well, if you got to tell me you're not racist.
Disclaimer. Yeah.
You're probably racist. He's like, but no, I'm not. It's just a funny song. And the song was Keep Niggers Out of NASCAR. And I was like, so you just come up to play that
that's
for me.
Correct and inappropriate.
Yeah, I'm like, so you just come up to play that with me when I have a loaded weapon right here in my lap. Like,
yeah, but you were in the military, and I think they were thinking, the hierarchy and the levels of
I
respect.
outranked him by like 3 ranks.
Oh,
but
I was like, you
that was
crazy. You know what's crazy? I don't know if y'all I watch Formula One, right?
Yeah.
And right now, the person who I haven't heard. I know a couple people that watch Formula One, and right now the person who has the most records in Formula One, which is Michael Schumacher. He's been the face of Formula One since 2006. I want to say since 2006, right? And the guy right now he just got 91 consecutive Grand Prix, right? So he matched his previous record. He's a black dude from Britain. He's got braids and everything. I never heard anybody talk shit about him in that light. But the crazy part about it is that's not an American sport. So to me, I feel like us as Americans as a whole, we blow the whole race thing out of proportion. I think it's ridiculous. This shit makes no sense.
Listen, unpopular opinion to me personally, I feel like this whole cancel culture thing is going too far. Everyone is sensitive about everything. And I get it. We do need to pay attention to certain things. And I see Esther looking at me like she doesn't agree with me. But I do personally feel like people can be very sensitive at times. And it's kind of how I feel.
But is there a lack of sensitivity out there, though?
I am old school. I'm an asshole. I will say that in a heartbeat. I came up in the military to where you get tough or you get left behind. That's it. There's nothing else.
I don't bend, I don't fold outside. When you do that inside, but still in society, in the world, do you feel like there's this lack of sensitivity?
I feel like hold on. I feel like there's a lack of sensitivity for the wrong issues. I feel like people are paying attention to the wrong thing. In my opinion,
yeah.
like example, people will sit down and say, "Well, you're dating a white woman, so you must not love your own kind." I'm sorry, I just like who I like. That I don't like this. I like who I like, but yet, look at I sent you a thing today. Hang on, let me see if I can pull it up so I don't quote you wrong. But then you have the guy who thought it was okay to say Black lives don't matter and knock out a teen's teeth with a bicycle lock. But yet no one is talking about that. And that's my problem. People are focusing on the wrong thing. They're complaining about the dumb shit, but then the important issues are blind to them. It's like they don't understand that there is a portion of the world that are getting treated differently just because of our race. And I can't even say it's specifically a black thing because I know that that Hispanic people deal with it too.
Definitely.
For sure. For sure.
And that's how I feel about the whole sensitivity in the world nowadays. I feel like people are sensitive only when they feel like it's going to give them the biggest, what is the biggest, I guess, spotlight.
Yeah. My son, my son is half black, right?
Yeah.
And my girl, look, come here, baby. Come here. Look at this beautiful caramel queen right here.
Hey, beautiful caramel queen.
So, but no shit. Like sometimes, like we go places, and I'm like, I'd rather just go in. You know what I'm saying? Because I got straight hair. I look more white than she does. Yeah. I know we're gonna be treated right, and that's fucked up. It shouldn't be like that. And in Miami, that shit doesn't matter. In Miami, it's kind of reversed. If you don't speak Spanish, they'll be like, we don't talk to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you don't know Spanish, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? So I don't know. That is crazy to me. That shit doesn't make no sense. I hate it. I hate that my kids got to grow up in that. You know what I'm saying? In 50 years, it'll be better because everybody's going to be gray anyway. It doesn't matter.
But it's just like and once again, once things are not on people's doorstep, they're not sensitive to it. Like if you, for example, it's like someone will go out there and be like, oh, do you want something that's some grape flavored stuff to a black person and like to black people, or do you want watermelon? Just because you expect a black person to like that, that's a very what you call it? What?
Stereotypical.
Yeah, it's a very stereotypical thing to say. Like that's a level of insensitivity, and then people don't like what is not like them. That's just a normal human thing, like things that they don't understand. I'm not justifying it for people. I'm saying that for people to see it about themselves. Like you're always like, "Ooh, no," because you don't understand something instead of being more open-minded and trying to learn something about a different race or a different culture or nationality. You know, and that's just in general. Because the situation we were talking about with the young boys on the beach, and it was a Caucasian male, 43-something-year-old. He just hit the boy in his jaw, and he said to the boys, "Niggas do not belong on this beach." Like, you see what I'm saying? And that could be anybody's son. That's what I'm saying. And it's just like you can't even walk down the street and look at the ocean that the Lord or whomever you believe in gave to us.
You made a comment just now. You said it could be anyone's son. It actually couldn't have been anyone's son. Because had it been my son, it would have been one person in prison and one person in a casket.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like when you have children, you cannot protect them at every corner. And that's one thing that I don't have any children, yes. But it's like I know my mom feels that way.
Listen.
She's like, I want to make sure my child is protected. You can't protect. Huh?
You're right. I can't protect my kids at every turn, but I do believe in revenge. So,
oh God.
To be honest,
moment, what is it gonna do? Your son still got hurt.
It's okay. I'm making an example. I'm protecting someone else's son. Now everyone gonna understand, bro. We can't mess with these people's kids because they killing niggas nowadays. That just happened.
You're right.
I'm going to make an example out of that person. Me personally, I'm fine with going to prison for my family. I've said it before. I will do life or death for my family, and I'll never change. I'll never change my opinion on that.
We should never have to go to jail because somebody feels some way about themselves and they're projecting it on someone.
Sadly, we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to do a lot of things, but we do. We shouldn't have to be worried about getting shot when we get pulled over for a speeding ticket. We shouldn't have to worry about getting pulled over just because we're black or brown, you know? We shouldn't have to worry about buying a house in a nice neighborhood and then being questioned. But because mind you, myself and Will, we both have GI loans. We can go buy a house in the most affluent of white communities right now. But if we do, then it's going to be like, hey, what are you guys doing here? I bought that house. No, you didn't. I didn't? Are you shit? I could have sworn I bought that
house. Bro, you know what's fucked up? Let me tell you something that happened to me in Kmart. This is a true story. I went to Kmart with my son, and there was these two black ladies that came up to me, and they were like, isn't that so-and-so's son or whatever? And I'm like, excuse me, who are you? She's like, yeah, that's so-and-so's son. They told my son, they're like, come here, come with us. We're going to take you to your mom. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? No. Yeah. And I'm like, what are you doing? No. I'm like, no. They're like, this is my son. They're like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Come here, little boy. Come on. Come with us. And I'm like,
my blood boil. I don't,
yeah. See? And they did that shit to me because my son is black.
He's chocolatey. I saw him.
Yeah.
Handsome.
That shit is crazy.
To switch subjects. Did you know that CBS is getting sued?
CBS?
CBS is possibly getting sued.
What else have they done?
So listen. So they were shooting a scene for an NCIS, and they approached, I guess, these background actors to stage a jury heist, I guess. And what it is I don't know if you people if people know, but prior to shooting these scenes, you have to not only get permits, but you have to not only inform the neighborhood around you, you have to inform the police so they know if they get any phone calls or people toting guns, they don't come out shooting. Somebody dropped the ball. And
they didn't tell the cops.
Yeah, the two extras ran into the jewelry store to go do the robbery scene, and the neighbor called the cops. The cops approached these guys with guns drawn.
Well, they deserve to get sued. That's how I feel.
And the guys were like, "Yo, we're this is dead. Like we're in fear for our lives. Like you didn't do your job. You're supposed to let these police officers know." And of course, CBS is trying to cover it up, but you almost got people shot.
They need to pay. They need to pay. That's their dumbass fault.
Absolutely, man. Listen.
They need to pay, and they need to give that money back to the taxpayers.
But imagine this: that could have went the other direction had those cops came in, seen those guns, and just started shooting.
Hell yeah!
Because let's be honest, the history of cops having patience and not shooting people has not been very good.
Did they have masks on?
They did have masks on.
They had full ski masks.
Full robbery gear, ski masks, automatic weapons, everything.
Were they white underneath?
I believe so. Probably. I don't know.
Why they didn't get shot?
They didn't say if they were white underneath, but the fact that they weren't shot and killed leads me to believe that they might have been white underneath.
Exactly. That's why they didn't get shot. That's fucked up.
Now, that might be a negative stereotype, but I'm just going off of history here.
Yeah.
And if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it ain't a dog.
Yeah.
They were Caucasian. They were.
What are they Caucasian? Did they say they were?
Yeah. Well, they didn't say they're white, but by the names.
By the names. Okay. Look.
Michael Smith.
Let's be perfectly honest, Will. Had that been us acting in that place, I would have been worried. And I think we just lost E.
Oh, we got it. We would have got sued for making them discharge their weapon.
Yeah? They were threats. What'd you say?
That the cops are trigger happy.
I think that's a problem.
The perp is.
They need to go to the fucking shooting range more and waste more taxpayers' money buying ammo. Do that.
I think the problem is, check this out. If they employed us, me and Dex, that shit wouldn't happen. Because we have rules of engagement. We have Geneva Conventions. That's the shit we need to have here. The problem is there is no, it's just like, well, you got a gun. If you think something, blast them.
Exactly.
That's the problem. Bro, if we'd have shot that dude in the back 7 times, our asses would have been down 11. We're breaking big ass rocks into little ass rocks.
He says big ass.
You know what? Let me tell you a story. Actually, when I was on, I forget which deployment. I went on 3 or 4 of them. But on one of my deployments, I was in a tower, and they were shooting mortars at my tower. And it was me and an E5, and they were walking the mortars in. For those that don't know what that means, is they were gauging it. So they would fire one mortar, and they would say, okay, that landed 20 feet away, so let's move it over to the left by, X amount of inches. And every shot they made, they would course correct to our tower. And when we called it in, the answer that we always got back was, do you have positive ID? Are you sure they're the one that's shooting? Be sure, because if you shoot them and they weren't the one that was shooting, please be sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Big ass rocks into little ass rocks. Yeah, I'm dead. Look, there's a lot of soldiers that lost their lives because they were scared to shoot, because they were scared that something was going to happen to them.
But then you also got the soldiers that have that saying, "I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6."
Damn right.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm one of those soldiers.
Damn right.
Judge me all day, but you're not gonna bury me.
I feel a lot of testosterone here. I'm feeling a lot of testosterone, but I feel safe. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, look, in the case of a zombie apocalypse, at least you know who to look for.
Yeah, y'all got my back? Okay, that's great.
Real talk, like I went and renewed my concealed weapons permit today, and I always tell my girl, like, look, if somebody come up to us with intent to harm, I'm not going to shoot them once. I'm not going to shoot them in the leg. I'm going to double tap their chest, and that's it. They done.
See, I'm just so soft.
No, look, the way I see it is a dead body can't testify. So it's my word against yours. If you dead, what the fuck are you going to say?
No, I see you, but it's just hearing the action. No, I'm all for it. But it's just hearing it and like I'm playing it out in my head. So I see, but family over everything. Protect your family. I'm with it.
That's rule one right there. Nothing. In fact, I told my daughter the other day. I was like, "Hey, sweetie, just so you know, Daddy will burn the world to the ground to protect you."
Aww.
And I meant that.
I'm so romantic. It is like, aww.
But that's how every parent should think, though. That's how every parent should think. Your kids need to be A1 on your list. You should be willing to murder everyone to keep your kids safe. I don't even care if your kid was wrong. Honestly, in my personal opinion.
I'm gonna fuck them up afterwards.
But moving on. So last week on our show, we spoke about food and Esther's obsession with Kangen water.
Thank you. It's not an obsession. It's not. It's just alkaline.
Anyhow, there was a report recently about an Australian woman who ate, I guess, uncooked or undercooked pork and end up having a medical issue. The young lady was having headaches and she couldn't figure out why. She would take pills and it would go away for a bit, but it would always come back. She went to the doctor finally after about a week or so to find out she had tapeworms in her brain.
Oh, God.
And the thing is, this isn't the first time it's happened. Another gentleman was found with tapeworms in his chest and his brain. And if that doesn't tell people they need to eat better and be careful the shit they're putting in their body, I don't know what does. That shit is disgusting.
Was it from the same place?
No, it wasn't from the same place.
I would close that bitch down.
If it does, shut that country down. Like, let's get
it was. Well, you said it was?
No, I don't think. No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Okay, because
it's like shut that country down, bro. We're not
anymore.
And I love sushi, so automatically that's not cooked, and animal could have like parasites.
They could, yeah, but you know, back in, I want to say up until probably the 50s, they used to sell tapeworms at the doctor's office.
That's gross.
They used to give you tapeworms. You would ingest them, and it would help you lose weight. And then they would.
Yo, you're right. Yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah, and then they would take them out.
Tapeworms come out one of two ways.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell people which ways, but it was an orifice. It was an orifice.
Oh, region.
Let's just say.
Yeah.
Somebody would be there with a tweezer and a flashlight.
Yeah. That was a thing back in the day. People used to do that. You would lose, they would advertise it. You would lose like 15 pounds in a week because you would eat, your stomach would start absorbing the food, and then the tapeworm, as it went down your digestive tract, would eat the rest of the food so it wouldn't digest properly.
Here's the thing, though. Back in the day, people would die because the tapeworm wouldn't stop eating, and they wouldn't be able to get it out.
Right. They would grow too big, and they would either kill them or they couldn't get it out.
Bro,
so this is why we should all eat clean, not necessarily vegan, even though I'm pro-vegan. Lots of alkaline water, you know, less cheese, less pork.
Nah.
Hey, I'm
a man.
I love some chuletas. I know some good ass chuletas. Be here, Will. I got you.
Meat and cheese, that's 90% of my fucking diet.
No.
Well,
live long. Come on, you got a son. Live long.
So if
Kangen water.
You know what? Quick jump up. Since we're talking about living, what would you guys do to live? Would you be able to risk bodily injury to keep yourself alive?
Oh, you talking about like losing some fingers?
You know what? It's better for me to show you than to tell you.
Oh,
there's a video here. I'm going to show everyone. And for those that's just listening, in the video, an inmate is about to get, I would imagine he's about to get stabbed to death.
Thanks, yeah.
And to save himself, he jumps 3 stories to save his life. Here, I'm gonna play this.
Oh, they about to shank his ass.
Yo. Oh.
Yeah, that boy gone.
I love how like chill you said that. He's like, man, that boy gone.
But would you do it though? I certainly would.
Yeah, are you serious? Yeah, I think he'd rather go to the med.
I'm gonna be real with you. All right, so zombie apocalypse, right?
Here we go.
Zombie bite my arm. I'm tying that shit off. I'm chopping it with a fucking hatchet.
You know what? Funny thing is, me and my wife spoke about the zombie apocalypse, and I asked her if I got bit, what would she do? She's like, "Oh no, I wouldn't be able to kill you." So I told her, I said, "What you should do is use me as a pack mule. Have me carry your shit as far as I can, and when I'm no longer useful, take me out."
That's right.
Cut off both.
You got to be practical about these things. So,
Are you talking about like drugs?
What? What? Listen.
Yo, where your mind at? Where you
In
A mule, like packing
that
someone
situation,
a mule.
but listen, in that situation,
I'm not tripping. There is something called a drug mule.
listen,
Yes.
in that situation there, I would have taken the stabbing though.
Okay.
Hold on. I know you're judging me. Let me clarify. I am claustrophobic as hell.
Okay. So am
He
I.
survived that. After he got out of the infirmary, he was going to seg. I cannot be locked in one of those rooms for 24 hours. I will lose my mind.
So after you get stabbed, you get put in seg?
No. Well, maybe. But the thing is, the fact that he jumped to save himself, they'd have to put him in protective custody, which means
Custody. Well,
which means either which is okay, moving him to another unit or putting him in solitaire. Now,
yeah, okay. But I know.
On the reason he's in prison, he might not be able to move.
Got you.
And especially with the COVID going on, they might not want to move people.
Understood. You sound.
So he might be faced like, honestly, just go ahead and stab me, bro. Either I'm a survivor or I'm not going to survive. But I'm not going to solitary confinement for the next 8 months.
I'm gonna tell you like this. You know when World Trade Center happened?
Yeah.
Them people took their own lives because they didn't want to go out like that, right? They jumped out the windows. It was like if anybody gonna kill me, it's gonna be me.
So
right?
That and on 11, yep.
I'm gonna tell you like this. If that dude's coming to stab me, I'm not gonna let no man take my life without putting up a fight. I don't care if I gotta bite some nuts. I'm biting some nuts. I don't give a fuck. But listen, I'm not hurting myself. You gonna have to get me.
I'm petty. Like I said, I took the stabbing. It is what it is.
If they was coming down that corridor, that means one at a time. Y'all ain't gonna surround me. I'm gonna start fucking trucking through all of y'all. If I go
these bitches over.
That's it.
I'm gonna take 4 stabs, but I'm gonna give you 3 of them, so we good.
That's it. I don't care. I'm gonna try to grab that shit.
The one thing I've learned about a fight is if you're about to get jumped, you get one person and you beat the dog shit out of them.
That's right.
Make an example out of them. Beat them into submission. So everyone knows, it took 4 years to get me, but it's only 4 years to get this dude.
Are we teaching people stuff here? So this is like we're telling them if you're gonna get jumped, make sure you take one out. That's what?
Make sure you knock the first motherfucker out. You knock the first one out. Just knock his ass out cold. The rest of them will look at him like, oh shit, maybe we shouldn't do this.
We don't condone violence, but or and I've seen this before. I've seen the dude get completely butt naked. Like niggas ain't gonna want to fight a dude with his dick hanging. I'm just saying.
Nah.
I wouldn't.
I've done that before. I've gotten butt. I say, you want to fight me? Let's go. Let's fight. I pull my drawers straight the fuck off.
If I'm gonna fight a dude and he pulls his pants down and be like, wait a minute, hold up, there's something that I don't know.
Circumstances. Suppose, God forbid, they did something to your kid. You not fucking that nigga up regardless.
Oh no, everyone's dying. Everyone's dying. Like my kids.
Okay, with clothes are on or off.
My kids were online. Everyone's dying.
I'm not gonna fight you. I'm not gonna fight you. What the fuck I'm gonna fight? First of all, I don't fight no more. I did that shit. If we're gonna fight, we're gonna put gloves on, we're gonna get in the ring. I'm gonna wear fighting attire if you wanna fight me. But in the street, I'm not fighting you. You crazy? I got a nice fucking necklace. I got nice shoes. I'm not fighting you. I'm not gonna be on the ground scuffling with you. I'm gonna shoot you twice and call the cops. That's it.
I'm with you.
Well, with that being said, we're going to call this a day. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Will, for joining us. We're going to have your information down below.
It's a pleasure.
And come join us again next week on Complicated Discord, folks. Appreciate you watching. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Hey, be blessed.
Peace.
Thank you.